Yep.
Okay. So from wherever you can be in the bottom of your squat with your hands behind you or in front of you, work this internal rotation in your hips. So keep your weight back on your hands, so you don't, in case you're tight and you might feel some shearing or torquing in the knee. And as things loosen up, you'll have more slack to stack some more weight over this extreme range right here, right? And here. And once you're able to do there, now you're really into, deep into your ankle and hip mobility. But you have to progressively work on that first with the first exercise and other auxiliary drills. And once you're here, start transitioning to your squat from here and keeping your weight through the plantar foot, the 3 points here, so you can mobilize the backside. Weight through the 3 points, mobilize the backside, or use your hand behind you to adjust, and then start flexing your driving leg foot, right? Open that up, get control of that ankle. And that's really good for the hips, ankles there. From here, you can point the toes, sit back, and roll over your shin. And you're gonna wanna do that because you'll be doing a lot of dorsal flexion in your feet going through that first part, right? Staying in the bottom of your squat position. It's a lot of ankle dorsal flexibility. Here, once you're ready, and then point the toe, and then go over. And you have to be careful here too if you still working through some tightness there, have some rolling out to do. Careful with this, but once you are able to get here, you get a lot of benefit from stacking your weight over your ankle and shin. Less likely to break it, sprain it as we get older when you do that. So that's a great drill for the ankles, hips there. And of course you can work on moving up and down in those positions. The next is to really focus on the core and our trunk space here. And so a couple drills I like to do to reset my back and my posture. And all this stuff's gonna help out with your hollow body position and your lunges and your knee and your sit-throughs, which are really important in the Q test. So with a band or a stick or a pole, I'll just use it for a little bit of feedback, just something to hold on to. Actually got a little stick here I'll use, just because it's a little stable. Either works fine. I just want something stable right now. So I'll unroll, try to get my lower back flat. Use my knees here to adjust on the way down. And slowly decelerate myself, right? So here I can get my lower back flat pretty good, right? Just holding on to my knees, flex position. Just with the lower back flat, about 4 fingers flat, nothing else on. I'm gonna start extending my legs and arms, right? From there I can pull across, and I can get feedback, keeping my shoulders down, pulling on the stick, okay? So I can work this range here. Careful with it though, if you have stuff going on with your back, maybe you need to just work here with the weight, right? Or hold on to a bar behind you, right? And then start decompressing your vertebrae a little bit at a time. Maybe just be here first, unrolling here, just working the articulation of your spine and control of your abdominals. Once you're good there, right, go back and forth sets on this. Go to the front side. This one's super important. It's the one I want you really to focus on. Okay, so, using the ground to keep your structure neutral, right? We know the ground is flat, and our body isn't a straight line like that. But when we are able to get it a straight line and give traction in our spine, it helps us out releasing muscles that may be shortened and not working properly. So this is going to help with that. So what you do here is I would start out maybe without the stick and just focus just on your core. Here, I'll put up the shirt so you can see. So if I'm relaxed on the ground, my belly's into the ground. My back is arched right here. I don't have much butt, so you can't see much of an arch, but you get the idea, right? So you'll see the small change that you want when you're here. So using the ground for assistance, all I'm going to do is press everything into the ground from my fingertips to my toenails, right? So everything between that, I'm pressing into the ground. Now I'm going to tuck my chin to keep my spine neutral. And I'm just going to drive into the ground, really press in, try to stick yourself to the ground like gravity increases, and it's gluing you to the ground more and more. or like you're in a, you know, like you're in something spinning that's sticking you against the wall. So it's like that. You're pressing in. Now from there, just pull your belly button in. Okay, so everything's pressing in except for your belly button's coming off. Now what's going to want to come off is your butt and hips, right? So drive your hip bones down and pull your belly button in. And notice when you do that, it'll be squeezing tight. Notice what happens to my lower back. It gets a little flatter. It lines up there. And you can actually see my hips floating up a little bit, right? You'll start floating up and in. Then when I relax, they come out, they drop down, and they tilt slightly, right? So I'll show you again. Put this down a little bit. Make sure you're breathing, right? It's easy to hold your breath here. We don't want to do that. So I can inhale, big inhale, and then start exhaling. And really, this is going to help me lengthen my neck and spine while engaging my core. Now, if I could do that without getting my hips off, keep my butt down, then I'll be able to slide the stick underneath.